Hello and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian. And it's
me.
We got another dynamic duo. Here we go.
This time we're covering a mirror match.
Oh, man. Dude, it feels like it's been so long since you and I have sat down and recorded an episode of this podcast.
A little bit of a backlog going.
I know.
We've been able to rest easy for a bit.
Yeah, I feel rusty when it comes to sitting down here and talking about this.
Speaking of rust.
We watched the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. That's the original one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Showa era.
Dude. This is our second Showa era film?
Yes, we've watched one of these before, and it was Godzilla versus Megalon.
Right. Oh, that was a good one.
If you've heard before, it was fucking bombastic as hell and
oh man, it was on
crazy as shit.
Another level, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This one, dude,
is no different.
Yeah, there is something about the costume design for the Showa era Godzilla that makes me laugh.
It is
and just happy, man.
Dude, it's so it's endearing.
Yes.
Like you just take one look at the motherfucker and you're like,
yeah. Look at that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I tell you what, this movie had a lot of like story that it was like building on, and I think it did a pretty good job with like what it was.
Surprisingly.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if Godzilla versus Megalon was like funny and like the story was not really serious,
right?
This one kind of takes the opposite approach. Like, I guess, again, like you were saying, like a mirrored approach to it, where it's not, I mean, it's still funny. It still has its moments. It still is endearing and probably not super serious. Mm-hmm. But I think the story, holds up a little better.
Yeah, it's actually kind of engaging.
Yeah, I think it's good. There are a few moments where I do think it has that kind of trope where it's like the puzzle is easy to solve out for anyone. But the actors are still like, what does it mean?
Right.
I have a 2.
Like, it means this.
I have a 2, an addition symbol, and then an equals 4. What could be the final piece?
Use your eyes.
Yes. It's like, oh, man, what the hell?
There's another 2.
Yeah, trust me, it's right there. Yeah. It had just a little bit of that. I can't quite remember what the details were, but I remember one of our main actors was like, the sun will rise in the west, and two monsters will fight each other, or will
two
fight.
Monsters will unite.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what could it mean? And the whole time they're trying to figure out about King Caesar, and then also Godzilla's kind of around. Now, at the end, they kind of said they assumed he was dead, which I guess kind of maybe you can.
It's a fair assumption.
Fair assumption, but at the same
last
time,
they see of him is just him falling into the ocean and then a pool of blood.
Right,
coming up to the surface.
Nah. You can't kill Godzilla.
Of course, that's the last the characters see of him. The next time we see him, we'll get to that.
You're jumping ahead, but you're hitting a really good moment.
Oh yes.
Yeah. There's a lot of hype for this King Caesar character. Mm-hmm. Who was the armadillo guy?
Anguirus.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Man, he got messed up.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so can I say, at first I got fooled.
I was amazed that you got fooled.
I got fooled. So let me tell you my what I was thinking.
Right.
The first time we saw Godzilla come back, he's like extra aggro, and I'm like, okay, I mean, maybe he's just
pissed.
The few times I've seen Godzilla, there's a handful of movies where he's kind of portrayed as the bad guy.
Right.
It kind of has that. I was like, maybe this is one of those where like
maybe they're going back to their roots.
Maybe something
like the 70th time.
I don't know. But Anguirus and what
we're assuming is Godzilla.
Yeah, we're like duking it out. But the Godzilla character was like beating the hell out of Anguirus.
Kicking his shit in.
Yeah, I mean just like messing him up.
Oh yeah, slamming him on the ground, fucking ripping his jaw.
Right, and I was like, shit, dude, he's fucking getting his cheeks clapped. Mm-hmm. But like for me, I didn't like the design of his roar because I thought they replaced it, and I was like, man, like there's nothing like the good old classic, like, or at least in this era.
The screonk.
Yeah, the roar. Yeah. I was like, and so which that was an awful representation of it, may I say, of what I just did. But he like it just. Every time I heard it, it was very shrill,
something
it just wasn't right.
Almost as if metal scraping against
metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I never really put two and two together like that because I thought that they were just. I thought it was a design choice. I was like, okay, maybe they're just trying something different.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe he's got little screeches, and then at the end he'll have like a big screonk. You know, I was like, oh, okay, or I don't maybe.
Not once.
Yeah.
Not even once was there a screonk.
No, and I was like, I'm kind of upset, and I didn't even quite catch on whenever he got punched. Or whatever,
and a little bit
of shiny. I didn't see metal. I just thought it was like shiny. Where I thought like, he like put something on him. I was a little confused. It was a little vague from my interpretation of it.
Yeah.
But they had me going. They had me going all up until like he's in this like industrial district.
Yeah, and he starts breathing yellow.
Yeah, and I was like
glowing yellow.
And I was like, kind of strange, but whatever.
I thought the trademark color was blue.
Maybe. But then he starts just like tearing shit up, and then Dylan hits me with the this is like the best intro sequence I've seen like in a while, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm about to watch like Mechagodzilla come out of a factory. Like, I mean, what better would happen? And then lo and behold,
the actual Godzilla just rises out of a fucking building.
Godzilla 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Screaming his head off. Like, what the fuck are you?
But hear me out. It's the actual Screonk. And that's when I was like,
the real one.
What an imposter. I've been duped.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, oh, man.
So good.
I was like, holy shit.
I thought you were just like messing with me for a second. Like, oh my,
yeah.
Like, that was a genuine reaction.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man, I was just as flabbergasted as Godzilla was.
Good.
Yeah. And so again, there's like they start duking it out, and then lo and behold, like I like Dylan had said, there's like a moment where it's kind of endearing, where like after they start duking it out, and like the real Godzilla starts like knocking off some of the
chunks of the costume.
Yeah, off of Mechagodzilla. He has this moment where he does like the little like. Like a little, like the
fuck is that?
Like a dog. Whenever you say a certain word, he kind of turns his head funny.
His head.
Yeah. But like, imagine like Godzilla with his fists up, going, huh? Yeah.
What?
And then proceeds to blow fire on him.
Yeah,
blasting the rest of his suit off.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, Mechagodzilla's done with the charade. He's just like, okay, fine. He engulfs himself in flames.
Right.
In the most badass transformation sequence I have ever seen.
I just imagine just
the
back in black.
The flames recede around him.
Jank. Let's imagine.
It is the most immaculate fucking trash can you have ever seen.
I want you to imagine the best all-metal trash can, like the Grouch sits in.
Yes.
But
it
red
has
eyes.
Missiles.
Yes.
Fucking rainbow eye lasers.
Yes. Nostril rockets.
Chest laser. Toe missiles. Knee missiles. He can fucking fly.
Yeah.
Like the motherfucker's wired and strapped as shit.
Right.
I've never seen arsenal.
I've never seen Heelys with rockets on them, but that's what it was. Yeah, and I think he has a tail rocket too. I never saw it though.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's like a weapon or if it's just like an extra thruster or not.
I don't know. It looks like a cannon.
Never really use it though. Yeah,
but it's definitely interesting.
It's easily like my second favorite design.
It is very funny, and very cool too.
Oh yeah.
And so again, like everyone's like, "Oh no, my gosh,
what the fuck is that?"
Yeah, he gets beat around a little bit and then escapes with like just like in true Jet Jaguar fashion, just ascends.
Yeah, up into the skies.
Right. So there is underground human ape aliens.
Yes, aliens from Black Hole Planet 3.
How specific.
That have constructed and now control Mechagodzilla.
So wait, is there a Black Hole Planet 1 and 2?
There must be. There has to be.
Yeah. I mean, if we're already on 3, I would hope at least there's that many.
That's how many tries it took.
Right, yeah. That's how many username attempts you had.
Right.
Black Hole Planet was taken. 1 and 2 was taken. Yeah, so we're getting like some more understanding of like what's happening. There's like space titanium?
Yes.
The professor.
That is what Mechagodzilla is made out of, is fucking space titanium.
How nice. It's a crazy like it looks like silver metal, but it's like shiny and rainbow.
Regular titanium, but from space.
Yes. There was a point in time where like the professor looks at it and is like, "Yep, That's space titanium.
Like, of course he's got it set up in like a lab and shit, but it's
he's
almost
shooting
like
it with lasers. Yeah.
He just fires a laser at it and it deflects.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yep, got to be space titanium.
That's exactly what it is. And he's like, what is that? And I was like, well, it is titanium, but imagine from space.
If we were to operate by the name alone,
yeah,
I'd say the answer is fairly simple. However,
right,
I'm sure it's
I'm sure you're confused.
Got a very complicated
hold on while I draw you a graph. While I draw you a graph that connects the two.
Right.
Yeah, there's some prophecies involved. We got some good old family heritage.
Oh, yes.
Summoning a big monster.
The Azumi family line from Okinawa.
Yeah. The grandpa that always is tripping. not like tripping on drugs,
like
but physically
always falling over.
He's always in a state, even though he can stand up mostly straight.
He has a cane that doesn't work.
But he is constantly falling. And he always looks like he's frazzled, like he got woken up from a nap.
Right.
Just constantly. Oh. It's like we're just standing here talking. It's okay.
Definitely startled. That's just how he talks.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not just like the way he talks. It's just his mannerism.
I'm sorry, his granddaughter is the only normal member of that family.
And there's many times where the camera pans to her, and she's just staring at him with a blank expression, like, man, my grandfather's crazy.
Oh, I'm not gonna miss you.
Oh man, I sure wish you could just calm down a little bit. I wish you could take a chill pill, but I'm pretty sure you can't handle it.
Right. One of my favorite parts of this movie is the reveal and subsequent song of King Caesar.
Yes. Yeah, what a great reveal. Mm-hmm. I love his little nook. He's inside a mountain.
Yeah, just chilling out.
Just sitting
in
there.
A plateau.
Yeah, right. And he's just sleeping. And then he has to be not only do you have to wait for the sun and the mirage of the western sun to appear, but then you have to put the pedestal in the right place, wait for it to then blow up the mountain. But then not only that, you then have to sing him awake.
Yes. With his own song.
With his own song.
This motherfucker has theme music.
Yes. He is very particular. And so help me God, if it's not just right, he's not helping.
Right. if it's even slightly off key.
Yeah, I'm out. Nah. You call that my theme song? Nah.
Good job, but not good job enough.
Right. Oh man, if there is one thing, I think I've said that a handful of times. I need to slow down. If there is a handful of things,
if there's two things,
if there is at least two things that these Showa era films do good, is the pyrotechnics and the explosions.
Dude, every Godzilla movie does that.
You're right. But this one specifically, I think it's also the camera work in conjunction with the amount and the overwhelmingness of the
sheer
fireworks
intensity of
these
explosions.
Just when you think imagine you're looking on this mountainside and there's an explosion or two explosions, maybe even three explosions, and you get a couple angles of it, like one or two angles of it. You think that's probably a good amount. No, take that and then do it three times.
Yeah.
But with more pyrotechnics. And it just there's so many moments where it's like boom, bow, fire, blam, wow. Oh, yeah. And then it's like boom, more boom, bam, flat. And it's like, oh my God, it just happens over.
But I'm not done yet.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not complaining about it because it also looks nice because the set design they make and the actual pyrotechnics they use and the fireworks.
They do not build a city without blowing it the fuck up.
Of course.
By the time they're finished.
But it looks nice though. Mm-hmm. There's just so many moments where in this movie particularly, but I can also remember in the previous one too where there's just so many zoom ins and flame clouds and it looks like fireworks sometimes where it's like, oh man, that's so great.
They definitely use more than a few fireworks, but then there are some where you can tell that's that's just an actual fucking explosion.
Oh yeah, that's just real fire right there. That's fire and smoke. Right. Yeah. Let's go ahead and talk about probably.
Have we touched on the plot at all?
I mean, I think
bits
so.
and pieces. There's this archaeology team that uncovers ancient ruins in a cave, and they find that little statue of King Caesar.
Right. And they have to return it back to the family? Is that that's the plot or the goal?
I don't think they know who it belongs to.
Oh, I see.
They're just kind of
they're studying it. Yeah.
And then after a certain amount of time, these people start coming after them, trying to grab the statue, at gunpoint.
Yeah, but There's at least 2 people at the beginning that are trying to get their hands on the statue, at least presumably.
Right.
One is a little more creepy than others, and he's trying real hard.
Shady.
But the other one,
sunglasses and a black trench coat.
no. Yeah, I'm saying that's the other guy was creepy.
Right.
But the guy I'm thinking of, like, I thought was kind of cool, but I thought was the main antagonist.
Oh, really? Oh,
was the guy in the black trench coat with his collar popped and the glasses, who's always smoking. This guy shows up in
what
every
a caricature.
in every scene where, like, the archaeologist lady and the guy who's with her show up. He's always in the background somewhere, like showing up, going like,
just lurking, chuckling to himself,
and like smoking a cigarette or lighting a cigarette. There, he's always. And I just thought it was funny how, like, you have the actual bad guy, and I thought he was like the henchman, while like the guy in the trench coat's always standing there like maniacally planning.
Right.
But then come to find out, he's actually a guy, like
an Interpol agent.
Yeah. What is Interpol in this?
International Police.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is a real organization.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. Just look it up. It's
just look it up. Okay. Yeah. So he's part of Interpol, but the other guy is secretly an ape alien.
Yeah. An ape-alien.
An ape-alien.
An ali-ape.
An ali-ape. Oh, man.
These are the beings from the black hole planet 3.
Yes,
that are
specifically
trying to conquer the Earth.
You don't want to know what's on 2. Trust me. It's not great.
Not worth looking for.
But, so as that's all panning out, I believe there's a point in time where we smash cut over to this valley, and there's water.
Right.
And then out of the water rises our boy Godzilla.
Oh, yeah, he like travels back to Monster Island.
Yes.
And
he is seething with rage.
Absolutely filled to bursting with anger.
I mean, I've never seen a man or a lizard for that matter, so angry. He just roids out,
like
rears his head back and shouts into the sky.
Oh yeah, calling to the storm to strike him down if they can.
Right.
And it doesn't fucking work.
No,
it just
doesn't.
makes him more powerful.
He just taunts Thor, and then he just
what you got, Zeus?
Yeah. Frickin' smite me. and then just like that, as he commands, he just gets frickin' thrust upon with lightning
multiple times.
Oh, man.
And it makes him stronger.
Dude, and every
there is a point at which he is going Super Saiyan.
Yes, he is glowing blue.
Screaming his head off.
And all the while, Dylan and I are like, I've never been so mad.
Because, I mean, it's just, I can't describe the feeling. Like, it
it just feels right.
Right.
You have the king of the monsters here, and he runs into
wallowing in his defeat.
Yes, he has stumbled across an imposter of himself who is terrorizing his city,
ruining his good name.
Yeah. And then he's like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. And he goes back to his home island. He's like, I'm just gonna freaking
gotta charge up. Gotta recharge.
I'm gonna show this tin can who's boss around here.
Fucking piece of trash.
Yeah. You freaking take my name. Yeah. So,
go
but
back
anyway,
to your fucking cookie pan, you piece of aluminum foil. About to spray you down with some degreaser.
I'm about to put you back in the trash where you belong, you piece of trash. Yeah, but he ends up glowing blue and getting struck by lightning, and of course just starts glowing. And it's like the best thing I can. It's the best thing that I can interpret what it feels like to hit max level in a video game.
You could almost attribute it to a training montage.
Oh, yes, exactly. But it's just him getting mad at the gods, and the gods bearing him gifts.
Like, fine, here.
Right. And then as that happens, it fades out into him just like becoming full power. And then it continues on with our story where like it gets kind of more in depth as to what's going on. And I think they end up finding this underground alien base.
Yeah, 3 of the main characters get captured and put into a fucking microwave chamber, but not before forcing the scientist who won a Nobel Prize to somehow work on and fixed
Yeah.
Mechagodzilla's head control system.
You say microwave chamber. I like to say it's actually a heat lamp chamber. It's a sauna with a heat lamp.
No warm-blooded creatures allowed.
Nah. It definitely was just a big like steam box, but it just had like a heat lamp over it. Mm-hmm. Got pretty toasty in there from what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they end up getting them out, and escaping. And dude, I just love there's so many fights, like so many like hand-to-hand fights that are so funny because again, it's like that like 70s, 80s, like I'm gonna hurt you without hurting you action.
Right.
Where it's like there's no blood, but I'm gonna
punch you in the back with both fists and you're gonna get knocked out.
I'm gonna bap you in the cheek, but it's not gonna be like real hard. But it's just enough to like
enough to make you like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like, ew, what? Stop.
But we're gonna add sound effects like psh, 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 and it's like, oh yeah. So
like,
it feels
oh man.
Yeah, it feels like it connects. But yeah. And there's a couple of scenes like that where like they have guns. They have guns.
Right.
But they're not using them.
Yeah.
And they're just like
they're just standing there aiming.
Yeah.
Not doing anything.
Or hear me out, walking down a straight corridor, not serpentining, while you have a gun in your hand and the guy you're chasing is ahead of you.
Right.
Like a straight shot where it's like you could stand still and maybe aim for 2 seconds and knock him out real good. But no, you can't do that.
Right. Gotta stay mobile.
Right. Gotta stay mobile. Gotta catch him before I shoot him for some reason, even though this is a ranged weapon.
It's a very close range weapon.
Yeah. Right. These are very inaccurate, actually.
He had actually affixed a bayonet before he started moving.
Right. Yeah, but there's I can't even remember some of the story bits and how it all plays together.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point.
Right.
I mean, I don't think we could give any of these like a proper plot synopsis without having the script right in front of us.
Yeah, some of it's a little hard to follow, but
it's just dumb fun.
Oh yeah, that's all it really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I can't recommend it enough.
You have human ape hybrids that are aliens underneath the ground.
What more could you ask for?
What was that one that we saw that was like the underground people? The Godzilla movie that has the people that lived underground.
Godzilla vs. Megalon, the Ceetopians.
Yeah, that was what it was. Wow, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
What a fun time that was. What's up with their thing with underground people?
I mean everybody hates underground people.
I guess you're right. Screw you, lizard people.
Yeah, don't see any underground people nowadays, huh?
No, you don't. Give me the what for. Yeah. Can I just say, I know that people have a bad outlook on trench coats, and I understand. There was a point in time where that was a banned thing because of reasons.
Right.
But I want to have that like film noir detective attire. Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
The old school like 40s and 50s vibe.
I just want to have like a suit and tie with a nice like brown trench coat with a cool fedora.
Travel to a city, look for work.
Yeah. Maybe smoke a cigarette, even though I don't smoke. Have a cigar in my hand and just,
look like I smoke.
Yeah. I just want to have like a pencil in my hand. Just go like,
pencil in my hand.
Something. Right. Or a toothpick. Maybe that's what I need to have. Just like, I don't know why. I just think it's so cool.
A regular sleuth.
Yeah. But this guy, like I said, the guy we thought was bad, who ends up being like a secret good guy, has this like black trench coat he always has around, and I was like, I know he looks suspicious, but like he also like he looks cool though.
Looked more suspicious.
He looks. I mean, I think it's also because of the places that we're finding him in.
Right.
But I think it's also
you mean everywhere.
Right. Everywhere. Everywhere and nowhere.
This motherfucker adopted the Majima everywhere system.
Yes. I'm everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
Will you find me? Maybe. Probably.
Yeah. Dude, I didn't understand how some of the science worked with the professor's pipe.
Could we even call that science?
I mean, maybe not, but like
I think he said that they're able to cancel out negative and positive polarities and just straight up fry electronics.
Yeah, I'm like, but
for whatever reason, he decided to make a pipe out of these.
Yes, but like if they're stuck together, they don't work.
Right.
You
have to take them apart and then use them in tandem.
Yeah.
To cause an electrical like. Like
Yeah.
I hesitate to call it an EMP because it doesn't like disable them for a bit. It just straight up fucking wrecks them.
Oh yeah, it wrecks them hard.
Mm-hmm.
I, I, I will have to say though, the implementation of it was good.
Yeah,
The fact that they
worked.
set it up in a
It's
scene.
a nice little MacGuffin.
Yes, and they used it at the end of the movie. I thought it was great. I loved that. Another thing that they did, which I didn't think about, didn't quite make sense, but I still like the fact that they added it because I think it adds some interesting concepts. Is our sleuth boy,
right?
Guy in the black trench coat, he has a ring, a silver ring with a black square on it.
Oh yeah.
And he was wearing it. Like the first time we see him, it like zooms in on it. Like, whoa, he's got a ring.
What does it do?
And it doesn't do anything throughout the entire movie,
Right.
except for the very end, whenever they're all handcuffed and they're in the base and like all hell's breaking loose.
Right.
He's like, my ring, and takes his ring out and then flattens it out, and then it becomes like a lockpick of some kind.
A fucking key.
I was like, what? Wait a minute.
That is somehow able to match up with these chains and like bonds that they've been put into.
I don't know, but I was like, hey, I mean, I'm impressed.
As long as it works.
Yeah. The second I saw the ring, I was like, here's the payoff.
Oh, shit.
I think I understand now.
That one frame wasn't for nothing.
Right. Now hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
What about that last fight scene?
Oh my god. Let's make it a twofer. You talking about the trio fight? Because I want to start off with Caesar going up against Mecha.
Yeah, I was going to say that first.
Holy shit.
He moves so fast.
Oh yeah, he's speedy.
Right, I didn't know that until now. I know everyone kind of moves lumberingly around.
Nah, not this motherfucker. He's well rested
Dude,
and raring to go.
Right. He heard his theme song and he's ready to go.
Yes,
I
am ready.
Yes, I was ready to wake up, but then I got hyped. Now I'm actually ready to fight.
Now I'm ready to throw down.
Yeah, and I mean, like he's like juking him left and right, and I was like, man, freaking, I can't keep up. And he's like over here, wow,
juking him without moving.
I know, and it's like
every time Mechagodzilla tries to fire a beam at him,
yeah,
Caesar just takes that shit into one eye and then fires it back out the other.
And I was like, dude,
this works multiple times, and then Mechagodzilla finally smarts up and just dodges.
Yeah, I was like, oh
or
man,
doesn't try it anymore.
Yeah, that's so good. What a good concept for that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Because doesn't he have like crystal eyes?
Yeah, he's got like straight up fucking ruby eyes.
Yeah,
dude.
gem eyes, whatever. And I was like, okay. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh shit, this guy's freaking smart.
Yeah.
You ever got zapped? This is the same zap that was like taking out Godzilla pretty good. He's just in one eye, out the other. And I was like, oh
get
shit.
that weak shit out of my face.
Yeah. It's
beautiful.
like whenever you throw a grenade at somebody, it's like, no, yeet, throws it back at you. Like, oh shit, I gotta run. But yeah, dude, he's like freaking juking it, going around, and then like I love the amount of times that they'll kick one of the opponents,
and they'll just go flying.
They'll go flying. But my favorite part of all of it is that like I want to see the scene set up or how they would film the ragdoll effect of the suit afterwards, because I can only imagine it's just a bunch of guys holding the suit, just throwing it into a ravine of some kind.
Yeah.
Because there's so many times where it gets kicked, it flies into the air, and then like the scene cuts, and then it's just what you would presume to be an empty suit that's like ragdolling and falling into like this chasm or something. You're like, oh damn! I know there's nobody in it, but like that looks like it hurt.
Right. I don't think there's any footage of any of the Showa era films.
Oh, probably not. But I'm just thinking like
behind the scenes stuff.
I love
what I really want to see.
Right. I love to think in the behind the scenes of it. Like, you know, how do you? There's one time in particular, going back to the original, the first Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla fight, in that little like industrial area.
Yeah.
There's like a couple of explosions that happens, and it happens just close enough to the backdrop, but it happens behind. So Godzilla is close enough to the backdrop, but an explosion happens in front of him, so his shadow is cast on the wall, and it happens for a split second. But I'm like, and it's like those little things I think are so interesting to think like, oh yeah, this is on like a
fucking set.
Yeah, this is a big stage, and they're just like blowing shit up in this room with these men in suits beating each other up, and it's like
awesome.
Yeah, it's like I understand it, but then like you know, it's like those little things that kind of make you think
behind the curtain.
Exactly. And I always wonder that for those instances where they're just like, I wonder who's in charge of throwing the suit just across the room, like, oh no, you know. But yeah,
It's good film.
he ends up getting knocked into some kind of ravine.
Yeah,
He ends up standing there. I think kind of like
down,
I thought he was,
but not quite out.
I thought he was stuck down there for a second.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but then yet again in true fashion, Godzilla comes rising out of the water.
Oh yes,
as he does best. If there's ever an entrance,
this is one of the few instances in the Showa era where Godzilla is framed in an intimidating light.
Oh,
like aside from like the first film,
right?
Like he is pissed.
Yes,
and he is coming,
dude. It has that. It has the angle in which the camera captures the costume. He's like looking down his nose.
Oh yeah.
But like his eyes are looking up, so it kind of gives that like maniacal like, ooh, I'm
about to kill
I'm
you.
gonna get you.
Right.
And so that like you just see this head like peek out of the water with those eyes of like I'm gonna get you. You're like, oh damn, he's coming hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so like again, the previous scene that we saw him, he just got struck by the gods.
Just had some electrotherapy.
I know. And he just comes out there and he's angry.
Oh, yeah. Ready.
Right. And of course,
to use it.
He like starts again, fist punching around and like, screaming a whole bunch.
Right. As a Godzilla is wont to do.
Yes, of course. But to be honest, he gets pretty good and hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. He like they start bapping around a little bit. He does a pretty good job. But there are so many finger rockets.
Oh, yeah.
They're everywhere. And dude, like he is just wearing into him.
Oh yeah.
And then like
at one point, King Caesar like gets up out of the ravine.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, I'm coming to help.
Yeah.
And Godzilla turns his head around, like without moving his body. He's just facing his head backwards.
Yes.
And he simultaneously takes down both Godzilla and King Caesar.
Yeah. But not before putting his foot on a rock, like Captain Morgan style, and then shooting tow rockets at Godzilla.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, damn, boys, come on. You got to do better than that.
Right.
But they end up getting caught in one spot where King Caesar is like behind Godzilla, and they're just getting waylaid. We're just like, he is like literally, and it's one of those funny scenes as well. They've done this before, and I think it's funny.
Right.
They do like jump cuts, hard jump cuts many times.
Back to back.
In a quick succession of like every single rocket, every single thing happening.
Unloading
but then
every munition he has.
But then not only that, in like less than a second, think of all like 8 of the cast members. It quickly on a literal head and shoulders shot, like jumping between each one of the characters, like do, and then back to him, like shooting lasers and like, oh my God, it's like, and it's like, it's just so fast. You're like, what is going on? Oh, it's so crazy. And then there's a point whenever he gets Mechagodzilla, it's like flying around, and then he like zaps Godzilla, and he starts like bleeding and like has that famous
gushing
that
blood.
Neck bleed where it's just like squirting out. You're like, oh shit, he's freaking hurt.
Gets impaled by several rockets.
Yes, but they don't explode.
No,
they just stay there. And then of course I think to be honest, the fights in many of these films, I think our commentary is what makes it so funny and so fun. Because Godzilla just gets up. He just gets there, and he's got blood all down his neck. He just looks beat up. He's got all these rockets jammed inside of him, and he just stands up and just like
he just shrugs it off.
He's just ready to go. And then I was like, it just feels like he looked and was just like, I hope you like got done with your warm up.
Right, you finished.
Yeah, you finished, because like that was just I was giving you a head start.
Right,
because this
you finished your little tantrum.
Yes. Yeah. He just like
he whip out the real shit.
Right. He flexes real hard, and all the rockets fall out of his chest.
Yeah.
And then as Mechagodzilla is trying to fly away,
you see like 2 radio towers slowly floating towards Godzilla.
Yes, exactly.
And then as soon as they get to, they fucking stick to him.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they fall off at some point, but Godzilla has, for all intents and purposes, turned himself into a magnet.
Yes.
And is now pulling Mechagodzilla out of the air towards him.
Yes. But like, have you ever seen I think it was the original Force Unleashed. Whenever the big Star Destroyer's falling down onto the planet,
Yeah,
and then
exactly
you just have Star Killer sitting there, just like trying his hardest, just like with all his might, trying to grab this ship out of the sky to just crash it into the planet. It feels like that.
Ripped off Godzilla, dude.
Godzilla's just sitting here, and just imagine this. Imagine Godzilla with an invisible rope, like just like pulling this rope in, and then like every time Mechagodzilla gets like a good thrust away, he just keeps getting drawn back, like
ain't got nowhere to go. Where the fuck you trying to go?
And it eventually just like bear hugs him, and he just sits there. I know he like. Obviously, he just like roars a little bit, but again, our commentary, I just imagine like whispering in his ear, like,
"Oh, where you gonna go?
Yeah, where you gonna go now, buddy? You thought you could get away from me?
Nah, I'm gonna let my buddy fuck you up."
Right. King Caesar, come over here and kick him in his chest. Shows you for imposing on my territory.
Oh yeah,
impostering me.
Dude, it's a lovely sight to see.
Yes, he just gets, and then Mechagodzilla like she gets beat to hell and back, and then.
For the final blow.
Yes.
Godzilla slowly just turns his head.
Yep, all the way around.
And just yanks that fucker off.
I was like, damn,
beheaded.
Dude. Yeah. I love the, and then at that time, the magic pipe that we're talking about.
The MacGuffin finds its use.
Yeah, they dismantle the pipe and throw it at a computer, like the main console that is controlling Mechagodzilla. And then, like, he blows up, but then, like, not without, like, propelling Godzilla back in a very wee kind of way, where he just like flies away.
Godzilla fucking explodes.
Yeah,
and the shockwave is enough to send Godzilla careening off a cliff into the ocean.
Just splashes in the water.
After which he rises above, as he always does,
of course,
and shouts for victory.
Yes, hell yeah, and then goes away.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm going home. I did what I had to do. I'm going the fuck home.
Right. Oh, man, what a fun time, dude.
King Caesar nestles himself back into his the crater that was his home.
Right.
And it explodes again, burying him again.
Right.
Turning into a mountain again.
Right. And he is safe once more.
Mm-hmm. Back to beauty sleep.
Yeah, back to beauty sleep for him. He has to charge up after all that energy exertion.
Oh, yeah.
He was freaking going ham.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I love it whenever like Godzilla and his like other kaiju companions,
his cohorts,
his like team up together.
Yeah,
there was
the best.
Dude, there was nothing quite like the previous one we talked about. The Jet Jaguar. I'm sorry, that was just
that's the best.
That was the best dynamic duo I've ever been.
No better a team has ever been formed.
Right, I have never been. It's I don't know I don't know how to frame my words, dude. It's like I've never been so excited for a dynamic duo in a movie ever. I've never been so hyped about such a low budget fight scene is what it felt like.
Because they're cool.
It's cool.
They're good.
I was like, man, for what feels like, I mean, it's probably still expensive, even like in that time frame's money. It's probably still expensive even now.
Right, that was back in like 1974.
I know, but even still, like just what feels like it's. I guess what I'm trying to say is it doesn't feel complex. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of special effects. It feels very practical.
But you get excited anyway.
Yes, and that's the thing is it feels simple on the surface. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of these do. At least the couple of Showa ones I've seen. It feels very simple, easy to digest. Mm-hmm. It is not hard. But it's just fun. It's just dumb fun. But at the same time, it's also kind of exciting.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about also like who you watch it with.
Definitely.
I think you and I watching them together is definitely a lot of fun.
Dude, I've been on this fucking bandwagon for God knows how many years. It's almost 5 at least.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I definitely joined the game awfully late. Mm-hmm. But, dude.
It's never too late.
I know it's not.
If you are able to wake up to these films, then
do it. Yes, if you have the opportunity,
part of your life will now be complete.
Right,
you're doing yourself a disservice not to have watched any of these.
Right, the newer ones, I think you should go into it with a different mindset.
Yeah,
these ones, I think, just go in looking to have a fun time.
Mm-hmm. That's all you need.
That's all you need, dude. I've known about these movies for a long time. Like I said before, never had gotten into them until Dylan has shown them to me. But Man,
There's
what a
something
fun
else.
time, dude.
Mhm.
It's just really cool.
Yeah.
I like these a lot. And to be honest, have we done an episode on Final Wars? Or was that just us
We have
watching
not.
it? Okay.
That was just us watching.
Oh, gosh, dude.
We're gonna get
I
there.
know.
We'll
We're going to get there. But if there's one thing I want to do for my own sake
Mhm.
is to actually have a notebook and a pen for that one.
Oh, you're gonna need one.
Because I watched it and was very attentive.
Mhm.
And I still don't think I understand what happens.
There's so much that happens.
It just feels like a fever dream.
Yeah, it might as well be.
There's been a couple movies that you have shown me, and I've talked to you about this. I don't think I've said this on the podcast, though.
Oh, yeah?
There's a couple movies that, like, sometimes we'll watch movies late at night where I am a little tired.
Mhm.
So, like, sometimes I'll kind of doze off a little bit, or I'll, like, watch most of it, but I'm just, like, not quite fully there
Yeah.
mentally. Or sometimes I'm even pretty attentive, but, like, it's just a big concept or whatever, or, like, again, like I said before in the podcast, is that, like, it's in Japanese a lot of times.
Right.
And again, my, like, me being able to keep up with what's going on by reading it, I'm never quite, like, as sharp if it's not just in my native language. It's just who I am. I'm getting better at it, but it's just still not, like, my strong suit.
You'll get there.
Yeah. But, so even if I'm, like, pretty attentive, if there's, like, a movie with a pretty big concept, I have a hard time, like really understanding what all's going on between the characters and the story and everything.
Mhm.
So there's a few movies that you've shown me that I remember them mostly.
Right.
One in particular was called Summer Wars,
Uh-huh.
and I remember, I think I was pretty attentive for that one. At least I remember. I mean, unless I was just too tired. I think I was probably tired that day.
Right.
But I'm telling you, there was like a couple times, like a few weeks back, where I thought about the premise of that movie, and I was like, wait, was that a movie that I watched?
Yeah, we ought to give it another go.
You're right. I remember it being interesting. I remember I liked it, but like it was just that moment where I was like, wait, they like went inside the computers or something, and like there was a big, like, internet being or something, and I was like,
Big
oh, man.
internet being.
Or some sort of, like, I remember it was like I just remember vague details of what was going on, and the fact like you had to save the world through the internet. I just remember it was crazy, and I was like, in the night, I just was like, was that like a dream I had? Like it felt like it was just distant enough where I think it had been so long since we've watched it.
What if it was all a dream?
But, and again, another thing is, it's because I don't think sometimes I remember the title of the movie.
Right.
Again, we talked about it on the last episode, I think, with Predator, or a few episodes ago, was watching that movie with Chase, and he keeps talking about the one with the police officers, or the one that's like the switch roles. I never remember the name of.
Sicario?
No.
The Departed.
The Departed.
Yeah.
That's another one, like I said before, where I remember watching it, but never getting any of like the name ever.
Right.
And so like it's the same premise for that, where it's like, wait, what was that we watched where we did that thing where we were all together, and then
that
like
was a while ago.
I know, yeah, it feels crazy, but at some point we got to get Chase back on here for those.
Oh, definitely.
I have to summon him from his ethereal plane.
Right. Out of the void, he will snatch.
Oh yeah,
both Sicario movies.
Right.
That
At the same
has
time,
on standby.
yeah, it's pretty crazy when Chase shows up. He can just conjure up things whenever he wants.
It's just what he do.
But I do have to regulate him, though. I have to make sure, like, whenever friends are over, you keep your powers to a minimum. I don't want you to be scaring off people.
Right. He'll sometimes just phase in and out for a bit.
Right. The amount of times I had to clean up messes that he's started and just left on accident, I was like, cleaning up. Like,
Chase, you left this unknowable fucking material on the floor again.
There's that ethereal residue again. Hardest to get on my couch, dude. Oh man, I love it. Oh gosh.
Gotta grab my fucking Eldritch Be Gone.
Yeah, please. Anyways, yeah. So that was a lot of fun, dude.
Watch these fucking movies,
dude. If you have,
I swear to God,
if you have the opportunity to watch some of the old Godzilla movies, please.
It's hard. Unless you can find this collection anywhere, it's hard to do.
Really?
Yeah, you can't find these anywhere on DVD.
Interesting.
You've got to like order them, or it's nothing.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also another thing to think, like I said, it's a different vibe, definitely, but I would stand by the new Godzilla movies as well.
Yeah.
Again, they're good in a different aspect,
Mm-hmm.
but still great movies, all of the ones that I've seen so far.
The most recent one, I think they harken back to that whole dumb fun.
Yes,
aspect
yeah,
that we were
yeah.
talking about.
Oh, man,
Which
dude.
I'm pretty happy about. It's almost like they went backwards. I would consider the 2014 Godzilla that we made to be like more of a Millennium era film,
Right.
whereas King of the Monsters would be like Heisei,
Yeah.
and then Godzilla versus Kong is straight up Showa
Yeah,
garbage, and I fucking love it.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I think also the reason why is because of that is I think they're tiptoeing us into it. I say us. I mean, I guess me is the person.
Right.
Is that like I have watched King of the Monsters was the first one, and then I went back to 2014. But even if I started on 2014, I still think it would be a good introduction for me, where it's like, okay, this is pretty safe. There's a story here. There's some monsters, like, you know, we got some action, you know. But like now that we're like getting into it, I think they're like establishing,
it's only getting crazier.
They're establishing the trust of the original fan base, and now they're also getting these new people comfortable with the idea of what's going on. They're like, here we go, boy, let's cash in our chips.
Right.
Let's do some dumb stuff. And I know it's so good.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Legendary Pictures, I guess it was called. Do such a great job.
Yeah.
Throughout the years, I think they have done such a great job with like special effects and like creating an alternate reality. And this is no different with those new Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
It is just a prime example of like really great special effects.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, go watch it. Go do something.
Please.
Anyways, we have a link tree /Ian Wolf. You can find all of our links there. If you're looking for us, you can just type in the Aftermath on all the platforms and that kind of stuff. You know, we should be pretty easy to find. You know, tell a friend about us, you know, or just recommend a movie. I don't know.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, listen to an episode or two.
We're open to suggestions.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
hard to choose.
Dude, there's so many we have now. We have so many episodes, and we have so many more to go.
Definitely.
Anyways, until next week, y'all.
See you.
Bye-bye.